G'day guys, had a typical long day at work today, but managed to get a little part arrive for me today. Just the broken clutch lever that I've got on the reel here. I've just gone through and fixed it up. Here's the broken part that I did have on it, and we can see there a crack on that right hand side. Still functioning, but anyway, thought we'll get it repaired up before we have a session this week. I've just gone through and replaced that, put the new one on it. There's a new one in place, no cracks in it, hopefully looking the goods. And we've managed to get it all in place. It's taken a bit of work, a little bit of a fiddle, but not too bad actually. Slight detour in the plans. We managed to get that in place. Stay tuned, have a bit of a look at how that went, and hopefully it helps somebody. I couldn't find any videos on this online, so hopefully this has been helpful to you. Yeah, have a look at it and see how we go. Thanks. Alright guys, well, what we're going to do today is just do a little video on this little Tatula that I have here, Daiwa Tatula or Tatula. That's a Tatula Type-R CT 100H. It's a 6.3 retrieve rate and 6.3 ratio retrieve. And unfortunately, what I've had happen for me is a bit of a crack in the clutch lever. Not sure if we can really pick it up there, but that clutch lever has a crack in it, and I only really noticed it the other day while I was doing a bit of a maintenance on it. Now, what I've done is I've emailed Daiwa and I've got them to send me through a new clutch lever. At least that's the plan. I've only just opening it now. It cost me all of $3, which is really handy. Here's our little packet here. Now, I'm not a big one for these unboxings and that sort of thing, but I haven't been able to find any information on replacing these clutch levers. If we get this right, okie doke. So what we've got there is a new clutch lever, new, undamaged, and the area that the last one had split is this area down in here. It looks like it should be all the same. Looks like it should fit in there nicely. So we're going to set about taking this apart. That'll be our first step. Once we've got it all taken apart, then we'll have a bit of a look around and see what we can do. I'll probably speed a good chunk of this up because you'll find this in some other videos around. We'll try and place these pieces out as we go, so they're nice and orderly there. We know which way they've come off and where they belong. I'm not here as a handyman. I'm not here as someone who knows everything about much at all, to be honest. But I'm going to do a little bit of a video just to try and help people out. Now, I've already done the major service on this. Place them all out in the order that I take them off, so I know which way to put them back on. Hopefully this will all work. Here's part I didn't actually get to last time. Now just down in here, the screws are aligned. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, but hopefully the screws are aligned in there. Grab you. If we have a look in there, we can see there's a couple of screws aligned in there. So I've got to take those off. I might go to the other side for a moment and we'll undo this thumb screw. The area we're really looking into here is, we've got some catches in there, and in here there's a little bit of steel. So just down in here we've got a little bit of steel sitting in there, and that runs right the way through that clutch lever. And that's the part that we're going to have to look to make sure we get sorted out. You can see down there's a bit of a groove running through it, and the clutch lever appears to run through a little slot just there. So we need to make sure that we get that steel out. If we don't get that steel out, then we're not going to be able to get that clutch lever off. There again is the crack, and that's what we're trying to replace. So step one, let's get this stuff off. That could be a pain, unfortunately, but that's what we've got to do. Okay, next step is let's get our little cog off here. See if we can do that without too much drama. Get those screws out. I'll put those down there because I know that they go in to that little hole. I don't know how we go about getting this part off because it just doesn't seem to want to come off. I might have to remove that, but I shouldn't really need to. We should be able to hopefully wiggle this one free. It's only getting a wiggle, but it doesn't seem to want to move. So what we might have to do is a slight adjustment there. Okay, that was a bit of a fiddle, but I think we've got that in a position where we can work that. Could be fun getting it back on, but we've got that off. Okie doke. You sit over there by yourself. Okie doke. So that goes that away. And thank you. And that fits onto there. So if we get this right, this should now come off. I do need to take this screw off here by the looks of it. So things could get a little bit hairy, so see how we go here. Okay. So there's a fine little hole over in here that this has got to fit onto. Right, so we've got that up. It's a fine little catch that this has got to fit into over in here. And if we grab our little torch here, so you can see there's a little catch that's got to fit into in there. We might give that a little clean while we're at it. That's got to fit into that. Give that a little clean. That fits around that housing. Okie doke. There's a little steel part that's got to fit into there as well. Okay. Alright, that's a guide. Take that out, and out comes our clutch lever. That made it look really easy. So there's our broken clutch lever there. We'll have a bit more of a look at that soon. So we can have a look at these two side by side. So they look pretty good. There's our broken one and our new one. So now it's about trying to get that to go all back together. And that could be a little bit tricky. I hope not too tricky. Okay. While I'm thinking of it, we're going to get a little wipe. Going to give that, oh, don't fall away, and clean out. So, get our orientation right. Make sure we've got our clutch lever in the right place. And this, we need to slot right down the belly of it. Somehow, something like that. And that should eventually be able to slot into the right spot. Okie doke. Alright, so that took a little bit of fiddling just to get into that alignment. So now we're in a better alignment, although just need to make sure we click you back in. Okie doke. That appears to be sitting in the right place. Need to fix up our pin a little bit on the underside here, which is not sitting quite right. So if we fit you into there. Now we appear to have our clutch lever in the right place. We've got that in an open sort of position. You can see the white tab that we've got down in here is in a better position. White tab there is in a better position. That's in our open position. We can see now that the drag, that the line guide is in an open position, and if we can close that, and now we're in the closed position. So we'll put that back into the open position just while I put my screw back on. So I'll sit you down there for a moment. Try not to mess it up too much. You're going to have to have a bit of a play and make sure we get our drive in the right place. But we're making progress. Okay, I'll just leave you there for the moment, and I've got a little concern. There we go. Just make sure you're not going to pop through too far. So now we've got that in place. That looks like it's doing okay. We're still going to have to fix up our little lever on there. So we've got to get you back in place shortly. But for the time being, what I might do is just see if I can get my my gear, my cog to fit on here properly again. It's taken a fair bit of force just to get that down. We've got our cog hopefully in the right place now. Our worm guide seems to be working okay. Now we need to put on our little C-clip. Now I know that these can be shockers to put on, so I'm going to be fairly gentle with it. Cool. And there we have it. That's all in place. We'll give you a little bit of light on the situation again. So now we can see that we've got our little C-clip in place there. Our gears seem to be doing a bit better now. We've got to get our alignment back for the little cogs there. I'll put that back in place next. Is that pretty firm? That pretty firm. I'll leave that a little bit looser. And screw on top of our clutch lever. And that's because now I need to fit this part here in. So this could be a bit fiddly. Okay then, seem to be sitting there okay. Alright, so that was a bit of a fiddle, but we finally got it there. We've got our clutch lever clicking into place the way it's supposed to. Got all of our parts in there. Now it's a case of just putting that back together. Got to remember that this was already functioning quite okay. So as a reel, it was in good order. But we are trying to make it that little bit better by not having that damage in there. And hey presto, we have a reel working again. Now we can see that our clutch lever is in place. Clicking the lever down, we get that T-wing into the open position. On the line guide, give it a little click, that clicks into place. You can see the T-wing in the closed position so that the line fits in the little narrow tip there and guides the line better. A little spin. I've already oiled and lubed everything up last week before this piece arrived. Seems to be running really nicely now. Certainly running better than it had been. So a little clutch lever there that I've just put in. It's taken me a bit of time, a little bit of a fiddle, but that's the nature of doing something for the first time. Hopefully that helps anybody out there that might have a bit of trouble with that. If we have another look here, perhaps at our old clutch lever. We can see there's a bit of a crack in there, and let's have a look there. So there we go. That might pick up that crack a little bit for us. We're still functioning, still managed to pull in a couple of good fish just a couple of days ago. I can see that crack pretty well there. And a new one again. Here we go. So a little bit of a fiddle, but certainly beats the heck out of having to send that reel away. It cost me all of about $14 in total. That included the postage of that part coming from Daiwa. So, little Tatula R CT 100H. We've got it back in order and ready to use again next week. Should be good. Got a week off next week, so hopefully we'll be able to get that onto a fish. Don't know whether they're going to be bass or what they're going to be dealing with, but we'll have a go at something. Thanks for joining me. Hope it's been helpful to somebody out there. I couldn't find a video on it, so hopefully this one will help somebody get their reel back in order. They were really helpful. I sent an email off on the Sunday night, I think it was, Monday night, one or the other, and they emailed me again the next day. Sent the reel that day and it arrived on the Friday. And now we've got it back on the reel, ready for the weekend. In my case, not good for the weekend because I'm on call, but it'll help me next week when I'm away and hopefully having a couple of sessions. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you again next time.